born in Medina on 7th Rajab 26th age 645 AD. When the news of his birth reached Hazrat Ali, he prostrated himself on the ground as a token of his humble thanks to God. Hazrat Abbas married Lubaba, daughter of Ubaydullah ibn Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, and had two sons, Fazl and Muhammad. Hazrat Ali, who himself was known as the Lion of God and the gateway of knowledge, brought up Hazrat Abbas, who guided him till he was 14 years old. The next 10 years were spent under the careful eye of Imam Hassan, and the last 10 years with Imam Hussain. Thus, it was not surprising that Hazrat Abbas acquired perfection in so many spheres of life. His gallantry, boldness, and the art of combat and soldiery were inherited from Hazrat Ali. Imam Hassan taught him patience and tolerance. When Hazrat Ali was wounded and lying on his deathbed, he sent for his entire family, save Hazrat Abbas. He entrusted all to the care of his eldest son, Imam Hassan. Then he heard Hazrat Abbas, hardly 12 years old, sobbing. Hazrat Ali asked him to come near him and gave his hand to his second son, Imam Hussain, saying, "Hussain, this child I am entrusting to you. He will represent me on the day of the supreme sacrifice, and will lay down his life in defending you and your dear ones." In the battle of Karbala, Hazrat Abbas was Imam Hussein's commander-in-chief. He fought the evil forces of Yazid bravely, remembering his father's last words. The story of the sacrifice of his life in trying to bring water for Imam Hussein's children on the dry plains of Karbala is the most touching sacrifice in Islamic history. On the eve of Ashura, as Hazrat Abbas sat sharpening his sword in his tent, his sister Kulthum came to him and with tears in her eyes said to him, "I cannot make any sacrifices for my dear brother Imam Hussain, who is surrounded by enemies." Zainab has two sons whom she will sacrifice for Hussain. Qasim will represent his father Imam Hassan. Layla will send her son Ali Akbar into the battlefield. Imam Rabab is going to sacrifice her infant son Ali Asghar. But I have no children, and being a woman I am not permitted to fight. People will remember all these brave ladies and sing their praises, but I have no one whom I can offer on my behalf. At this, Hazrat Abbas consoled her and said, "Do not worry, dear sister. You have brought me up since childhood and you have loved me as a mother. I will sacrifice myself on your behalf." In the morning, Kulthum took her brother Abbas to Imam Hussain and said, "Let my brother Abbas fight for you on my behalf, and he is my sacrifice for you and Islam." When at last, after great persuasion, Imam Hussain gave him permission to fetch water for the thirsty children. The life of Hazrat Abbas is an example of loyalty and love for a brother. It is also the story of a warrior who sacrificed his life for the cause of Islam. Peace be upon thee, O Abu Fazl Abbas, son of Hazrat Ali, commander of the faithful and mercy of Allah and his bounties. Imam Zainul Abidin has said, "May God shower his blessings on my uncle Abbas." The manner in which he laid down his life for his brother Imam Hussain showed supreme self-sacrifice. He fought valiantly to protect Imam Hussain, and it was only after he lost both his arms that he fell. God recompensated him by conferring upon him in heaven 2 wings to fly with. Verily, the place of Hazrat Abbas before God is so high that all the martyrs will envy him on doomsday. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.